seems to tighten around your neck. Oh, you're only halfway through the horrors you'll find here in the Maelstrom. You never should have come here.
That means, ooh, lion effect. Wonderful. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Penny for a Tale. Tonight, we are playing episode 54 of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition Adventure Pack. This is part 4 of the Torn Seas story. But before I get into the insanity of what that even means, let's reintroduce our cast, starting with Daniel.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel. I'm playing Sailix Lavendale tonight. It's going to be a crazy game. I can't wait. We're literally heading into a battle between Valkyries and Proteans. And I can't wait to have more interactions with the cartographer. It's going to be good.
All right, James.
Hi everybody, I am James. I will be playing both Waldorff Skysteel, the Dwarven Cleric, and Legion, I don't think we've revealed what Legion is yet. So yeah, this will be really entertaining for me. My first time playing two characters in the same session, at least in combat. So yeah, this should be super entertaining.
All right. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jen. I am going to be playing the Vesperin / Erin / Talia, the rogue by many names, and unlike the others, my character is currently under the sea in a dangerous web of intrigue, suspense, and romance.
Ooh, it's a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
King of that web. Damn.
It would help if I was not muted. Hi guys, I'm Sam. I will be playing Kai tonight, the other sea elf under the sea as well that is entangled in this web of things and romance and an interesting tale will be told down here. I'm excited.
It's intrigue, to be sure. And Mr.
Intrigue.
Smith.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smith. I've been playing Rune Ravenswood. I think the only sane one currently in the Maelstrom. I'm not looking forward to the war between law and chaos. Nothing good will come of that. And I am, however, looking forward to the cartographer and seeing what shenanigans that little bastard gets up to.
You really want more cartographer, huh? All right.
I mean, every GM's got the star NPC.
Whoops, that was an accident. And one to which I don't think I will cover. I think the cartographer is me, really, in a way, and I feel bad for you when you one day meet the rest of these gnomes. But before I get into that, this show tonight is sponsored by Smiteworks. They are the creators of Fantasy Ground Unity, which we have been using for this entire campaign. We're over strong, and we've been loving it. If you're interested in a virtual tabletop, I recommend them. Go to fantasygrounds.com to try it out. We're also sponsored by The Only Sheet, which is an Excel-based character management tool. If you're looking to manage a character or a party or planning your build, I know in the very beginning we planned one all the way through level 20 in our naivety, and barring the tragedy that things will occur and chemicals will spread out of eyes, you could probably get a lot done with a fully automated character management tool. So check it out if you're interested. Go to theonlysheet.com. And then our music tonight is by Rock Narden and Michael Gelfie. You can find links to both of their YouTube and Spotify's in the show notes. And then lastly, our maps tonight are provided by Jade Piku and Secret Games on Patreon. You can find links to their stuff in the show notes. as well. But let's get into tonight's game. So the party is split sort of in two ways. We're under the sea and we're in the Maelstrom. In the Maelstrom, where we left off, Legion, our kind, brave fellow, as well as Waldorff, Rune the Wizard, his familiars, Sailix Lavendale, and a crew of about 30, stumbled into a war. This leg of it, this front of the war, seems to be centered around this act considered unholy by the Protean beings of the Maelstrom to chart the waters of the plane of chaos. It's antithetical to them, and it, for all intents and purposes, would be their anathema. So they sought to stop it. Well, the Valkyries, they would very much like a map. And it's not exactly sure why. Likely it has something to do with Legion, though. He's searching as well. Where we left off, you were engaging in this battle you've been thrown into. But I don't want to start there. I want to start somewhat quiet and relatively calm after an ambiguous amount of time underwater in Talisantry. You're about 250 feet below the surface in a coral settlement. Hi, in the Vespia. How you've been having strange dreams, but you're not experienced with dealing with such a thing. The nightmares haven't been as vivid as they were that one time, but they're disturbing and they couldn't be coincidence. Go ahead. For context, we'll put you within the city walls, some sort of semi-permanent residence. Think of it like condo under the sea. Kai, this is where you've been staying, because according to city officials, the Vesperin hasn't been staying anywhere in the city, which I imagine many people would think patently false. They can't prove otherwise, because we can't really find her. They think you're connected to her in some way, though, and we think you're connected to a lot of nonsense because you keep having nightmares ever since Deidre's gone missing. But I imagine on one of these nights you would invite the Vesperin to help you here.
Yes. Is Vesperin already here?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's safer. Yeah.
So I feel like Kai would just sort of be sitting in a seat somewhere, just kind of staring absentmindedly out a window, like she's mulling something over, trying to decide something. Not usually one for contemplative thought. So it seems a little out of character for Vesperin, for her to be just sitting here like this.
Yeah, I figure, like, especially if it's late, since, like, you know, at this point, Kai knows, like, Vespa only needs, like, 2 hours of sleep or whatever. She would have just been, like, working or whatever, but, like, especially if she knew that, like, Kai was having trouble, like, you know, if there was, like, a night terror situation where, like, you know, noises or whatever, like, she would periodically check on her and stuff like that. So, like, seeing her awake, like, after one of these, like, check-in moments, it's one of those things where, like, she's walking by the hallway and then, like, walks back and then looks over and is like, are you okay?
She'll kind of start like she hadn't noticed you walking by. Just you notice like dark circles under her eyes, just from the lack of sleep. As she looks up at you.
V would like walk over like pretty fast, but like not like, you know, fast enough to rush but just like it is a quick motion. And she, you know, again like looks concerned but tries to keep her voice like light and confident and stuff. So she would just sort of like with a finger or whatever tilt Kai's chin up to so they can like look eye to eye and be like, you know, I told you already. It is foolish for you to stay up with me. I appreciate the gesture, but of course, there are other ways that you wish to get to sleep.
Seems like every time I close my eyes, it's just another nightmare. Recently, maybe if I'm, yeah.
Do you want me to? And she would like hold out the dreamstone. Maybe I could see what is happening or get some insight that way. It worked the one time. I hate seeing what it is doing to you.
I mean, maybe it's all connected to the things that I can't remember.
The gem of the wise, it seemed to be at least somewhat related to memory based on what Sailix was talking about. It is... Maybe it did something to you. Maybe... I don't know, but from what I saw, those memories are still within you. But you were scared to open that door before. Has that changed?
She just sort of like buries her face, like, because I'm sure she's sitting and you're standing, so just like, just buries her face within your like chest and just sort of closes her eyes and just sighs. I don't know what you're going to see, and I don't want you to hate me for whatever has happened.
Vesperin would just very slowly start, running her fingers through Kai's hair. Darling, I have told you of all of the awful things I have done, the cruelty that that my hands have delivered to others. And yet, you do not regard me with any of the ugliness or malice that I see myself with. We are judges of ourselves in the harshest way. Whatever you have done, whatever may or may not have happened, the person that I have come to love is right here. And that will not change.
You'll help me?
Always.
And she'll just like lightly whisper, Aaron, I really do love you.
I know, how could you not? And she'd give like Kai like, just like a light kiss on the forehead and just sort of take her hands to like, help her up.
All right. She like looks nervous to try and sleep, but something needs to happen, so.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. She's following your lead.
I don't know. I can give her like some knockout dram or something like that. If like, whatever is a gentle sleep aid. I assume I have the drugs in my bag.
And you're muted.
You're muted.
I guess it's difficult to find one so gentle for you.
I mean, I imagine since she has like alchemy, she knows at least how to dilute it enough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're
Just
terrible.
Over ice, I'm sure. Anything before you drift to sleep?
I just feel like she's holding Aaron's hand a little tighter than normal.
Yeah. And then this business of a dream, Vespa, do you watch from the beginning? Do you observe her in her sleep using the dream stone?
Yeah, she would watch with the Dreamstone.
Right.
Yeah, at least to like get an idea of what's happening exactly.
Yeah.
Because my other question is like, Kai doesn't have specific vivid memories of like some of these. It's just like that general like, I had this awful anxiety-inducing nightmare and I don't remember. Okay, cool.
Indeed. So you fall asleep. Hi, I want you, Sam, I want you to tell me what you remember about that night. What did Kai have on her on the night of the last stand?
Weapon-wise, she had a trident. Let's see. So what did Kai have on her that night?
Yeah, well, the passage of time, it can be measured really by someone's possessions. And Vesper, that would be the first thing you notice about Kai. Being dressed very differently here. It's the kind of gear you would take on land. Maybe chitinous, which is great trident. A lot of equipment for travel. You're in a forest. You find yourself again. It's the same place. I'd paint a picture. In this dream, Kai, you are on back a wyvern. Small, like colored maybe as a yellow or even a bronze drake, but much smaller. You're with Galen. you're flying away, you've recently witnessed the collapse of an ancient castle. You're in Ustalov somewhere. You, of course, don't remember this. You think this as nothing more than a strange dream. The Vesperin, you don't witness this from a place in space. You witness this as if you had been told it. On back of this drake, you're fleeing from something, but you don't quite know why. Right? You're on the heels of some mission, away from your memory. You can't tell if this was a dream you've had before, but it seems familiar as if it were. That man in front of you, you remember him as an old friend, but you haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I feel like the height and build are similar, but the mask, the bones weren't something that she remembered him wearing. I feel like she would like tentatively reach towards him, just trying to see like if she can touch anything within the stream.
Well, there's a Galen right in front of you. Galen Viper. You could start with him.
Yeah, she's trying to like take his shoulder or something to like see if he's like tangible.
Right, well, it's tangible indeed. You're holding this in as you're flying away, watching this castle collapse and crumble in on itself. You believe you're the only survivors. At least that's how it would seem. This thing almost literally implodes, buckling in, but then there's some force field around it to protect against debris that would otherwise explode outward. Collapses and becomes red hot. It does so when you're flying away from this castle under the night. Galen speaks to you, though.
You witness though?
Galen?
Are you back there?
Where are we?
She'll turn around and look at her, kind of touching her head. Did you bump your head? You okay?
She just sort of like rubs her temples. How long has it? It's been years since I've seen you.
What? What are you talking about, Kai? We've been together for the last 3 days.
No, the last time I saw you, we were in the Menendor Mountains on a scouting trip.
I don't... Look, maybe the explosion has something to do with your memory loss, but look, we don't have time for that. He'll take her hand and he'll, as he kind of like, in a acrobatic feat, kind of flip around on the back of the wyvern they're flying on, looking at her. Look, I don't know what just happened, but whatever mission we were on, it all went to fucking hell. Alright? And whatever that woman was that came through that portal, she chased my dad down all the way from TNZ. And look, you're the only one that I can trust right now. He places something in her hand and closes her fingers around it. I need you to watch over this. She looks down. It's the Gem of the Wise. I need you to watch over this so I can watch over you.
I don't understand. Where are we going?
We're going far away for now. And he'll take his mask off and it'll fall off the side of the wyvern. And he'll cut the side of her face. I just need you to make me one promise.
Yeah.
And he'll get his face really close to hers. He's like, just don't forget about me. And he'll kiss her.
Well, this is awkward.
You remember more now. You remember Galen. He was your friend. He later went on to study in Corvosa. Thought you wouldn't see him again. Close with his father. He wanted you to work for him, and when he gathered you all to protect this crystal, they wouldn't say why. But you don't remember what happened to this crystal. You don't remember what happened to Galen. Because the last thing before it fades, before you reach not a suppressed memory, but the end of the memory, where a memory has been removed, the last thing you remember would be the wyvern coming to a stop. Rage is his name. Fearsome as he is, he's concerned about something. He slowly moved to a halt. You don't get a form and you don't get a size, but you understand that there's an entity presenting itself in front of him. And from there, the memory is over. You're in the green space to which you could conjure just about anything you like, but this memory is gone. Anything else would be fantasy at this point. Like a dream you don't want to end just because you've woken up. It just becomes your imagination at that point. But that's all you remember now. You don't know what happened. You don't know why you lost months of your life, or what you and Galen encountered. You don't even know where the crystal went. But Kai, you, and the best friend, you see this dream.
Like, I feel like in this sort of in-between dream state, she is just, like, trying to force herself to, like, remember what happened next. Like, sort of, like, beating against a wall that isn't going to move.
So I feel like V would kind of approach and, you know, just be like respectful of her space, and just be like, well, we know more than we did, and there's got to be someone or something that magical, right?
I forgot about him. I don't know where this gem is at.
Again, like, V would very carefully approach her. And it's like, it's one of those things where like, you can tell she wants to run over there, but like, she's not sure if that's the right move. So instead, like, you know, she just very carefully walks over and would take Kai by the hands and be like, "You did not forget. You were made to. And if he was one who held your heart in the way that you hold mine, you would understand the difference. But as I told you, we know where the Gem of the Wise is now. So that is not on you to bear either."
Where is it?
It is with the group that I told you about. I believe it is Sailix that is the one that holds it.
Sorry, I just lagged.
So, Vespa, real quick. Now, in this state, how awake are you while you sleep?
I feel like she, like, you know, does lucid dreaming or whatever, so like, you know, she's probably in that middle state. But like, again, she grew up where people see somebody sleeping as an opportunity to stab them. So I feel like she's a pretty light sleeper usually.
Right. Yeah, and it seems people made the mistake of assuming Kai's finally drifted off the bed. Now, there have been reports of nightmares in the city, and maybe that sort of led to a trend in people avoiding getting sleep. And as a result, people tend to lurk around and wait for people to pass out, thinking it's an opportunity to take advantage of their state for some time. Assassinations here and there, an uptick in robberies, but in this particular situation, you hear people shuffling about just downstairs, moving in. I'll leave you, Elven. They're not Elven, but they're speaking Elven. Some chatter about the sea elves finally falling asleep. They're using this as an opportunity to strut as they move in to Kai's residence.
So Vespa would take Kai by the hands very firmly right now and be like,
Yeah.
"My darling, we need to get up right now. And also, I'm very sorry." And she punched Kai in the face to wake her up.
All right. Well, I think what that's going to do is that's going to initiate maybe a chase or a series of skill checks between you and these people, and maybe a combat between you and Kai. But we will get back to it because the waters are boiling in the maelstrom. Similar tensions, just a little bit less cohesive. So in the open space. fault. And I hope
Can't hear you,
on
boss.
this fine evening at 10 past the hour.
Goes down.
let's go with apology. Hello once again. I assume I can be heard, but only one time. And with that assumption, real quick, we'll just reintroduce this side of the cast for the Maelstrom. Starting in order, I have, go down this way, Daniel will be playing Sailix, Lavendil, and Celestial Elf. And then below we have Jane, who will be playing Legion, the Mountain of a Man. He will also be playing Waldorff Skysteel, the dwarf. Last I heard, when you cross the Celestial and dwarf, you get Pluto, but there is no Pluto here. Instead, we also have Rune Ravenswood, a trusty wizard, played by Mr. Smith. The four of you, plus a pesky gnome, plus about 30, have found yourselves sort of caught up in the middle of a messy war. Probably messy by design in this wretched plane of existence. But the Valkyries form ranks on back of flying horses, leading charge out of these castles in the sky as they move in. You did see, last we left off, many, many Proteans swirling to form the great beast of chaos. As it charges towards the ship, you do have moments here to plan. What do you four do?
What a question.
It's your shit. You tell us what to do. It's not clear as to whether Dwarf is talking to Sailix or Rune. He's just kind of saying it to both of them.
Yeah.
Good call. Rune just, we should get out of here.
Do you need me up here or down in the engine room?
Make the ship go. This is not our fight.
All right, then.
In any way.
Legion will protect the cartographer.
I know, Sailix, the sound of battle is like catnip. Let it go.
Yeah, Sailix is at the the side of the ship, just watching everything, very.
Legion's right there with him,
looking.
Dog at the end of a leash,
I would like to point out, this is the actual representation of law and chaos battling it out. None of us should be in the middle of this. Because I have to ask you, what side do you choose?
Scared. The side that will win.
It's law versus chaos. There's no winner.
Sailix starts hovering a little bit above the deck as the wings come to life. And the Leviathan snaps out into a scythe.
Grab him and pull him back down.
Oh, shit.
I'm always the winner.
I like this one.
You know what? Fuck off then. Go get yourself killed. When your body is floating out in the maelstrom, then I'll come and grab you.
Sailix looks back to Rune. Well, see you then, wizard. And takes off.
Fuck
All
off.
right.
God.
You do not want to protect the flying one?
Protect him? Sometimes it's questionable. Today's one of those times.
This is why.
Look, it's a giant battle in the Maelstrom between two giant armies. How is Sailix going to live with himself if he doesn't take part in a fight?
You know, by living.
Approaching in a ship, flying not by the credit of an arcane engine, but by the nature of the Maelstrom. This boat, it would be rowed on the material plane, lined with small wooden fields along both sides, lowers itself to the airship just beside a gold-bearded Olfin man, larger than Sailix, but not larger than Legion. He scans the deck looking for Legion.
Legion lifts a big meaty hand in greeting. Hail! Oftar!
Legion,
Can I help you?
come. We request the army of one.
It is good. Yes. You need me.
Legion,
You
you're gonna
need
go
us.
fight?
How can I not? I have
I mean,
been
it's pretty
asked.
simple. You just don't. If I
The
ask you
Einherjar
not to, does
do
that
not
work
turn
too?
from battle. He just kind of gives
Oh,
him a
of course
flat
you
look.
don't. All right, off with you then. Go beat up some Proteans if you like. You go enjoy yourself. Make sure you're
Leaps
wearing
from
clean
one
underwear.
ship to the other.
These ships were not very close together by the time that he did that. 40 feet. That.
Have fun storming the castle. Fucking wackadoos.
All right, so, and then there were fewer, weren't there? Now, this ship, there are several Valkyries and Ulfins. They mentioned something about Valenhall, which you'll know to be Valhalla, and they set off to engage in this war, the lines of which are just about to connect. Now, that leaves Waldorff, and it leaves Rune Ravenswood. Now, Rune, it is looking like as this battle coalesces in space, the Proteans, the Valkyries, turning into each other, it's starting to take form, in that there are clear openings. If you were to try to maneuver away, many of the Proteans have merged into that colossal serpent world eater style beast that winds towards the ship, but also the castle. It's just the enemy in general. You could make a break for it if you'd like.
Well, as much as Rune would love to make a break for it, there's a fucking angel out there that said go run off into battle. Some petulant
That is
child.
true. Yeah.
Which side
But
does he jump
Waldorff
to,
is
by
getting
way?
the ship out of there just like he was told, so...
Well, Wizard, if you'd like, you can make a perception check for me. That's
All right.
far off
I can do that.
in the distance. You notice the Olfin man, Oktar, before he loaded Legion on his ship, he mentioned something about Desmarans, and with a fantastic perception, you do notice far off in the distance a fleet of ships kind of moving in. Not for any reason you understand, they don't seem to be part of this battle. They're avoiding both sides of the conflict that's just now starting to clash and collide. Now, in that cluster, you can see the ships headed roughly in your direction, these flying ships in this open space, but you also see dead space. You see an opening if you're trying to make your way just sort of out of the battlefield to wait it out.
So, was Rune able to see which which side Sailix decided to jump onto.
He is attacking both equally.
Wait. Are you attacking the Valkyries and the Proteans?
If they charge at him and they square up the fight, he is.
Oh.
He will not back
They-
down.
Legion is
They'll
like
be-
is kind of trying to direct Oftar not to attack the guy with the wings. He's going, no, that he's on our side. He doesn't look like it, but he's on our side.
That's a great idea.
He might not
Say
know
that
it
you-
yet, but he's on our side.
So the reason I say this is let me explain before everybody takes it way out of context. In a battle that is as large as this is, Sailix is an unknown. So people that see an unknown generally attack it on sight. So even if he is fighting on the side of the Valkyries, if a Valkyrie comes towards him in a threatening stance, he knows from experience that he is not known on their army, so he doesn't have time to explain. So he's just taking care of the problem and moving on towards the Proteans again.
Well,
Okay. All right. Rune's calling out to the cartographer.
he's below deck with Waldorff, I think.
He's yelling down for the cartographer to get his little gnomish ass up on deck.
Our card is just gonna look at Waldorff with pity eyes.
Hey, don't look at me, lad.
Oh, please.
Get up here, you map making son of a bitch. I need those maps.
I can't protect you from hen.
Where is a barrel?
I mean, I might be able to shove you into one of these fuel canisters, but I don't think that would be very good for your health.
All right, I'll do
And
it.
all the rest of them have got
Yes,
rum in them,
sir.
or whiskey.
All right. I need you to tell me in less than a minute, how do your maps work and how quickly are they done?
But admit, you wouldn't understand known to be merchant of law and understanding. Well, what if I told you I hadn't quite a clue?
Try me.
Planar essence. You're looking at axis. Axiomates. Well, bless their hearts, they tend to know where things are and the order of things, but you find the borderlands. From there, the maelstrom, well, it appears different based on where you're sitting. Maelstrom looks awful different from the borderlands of hell, so if you find the borderlands of, well, Axis.
Can you
Something
can you bring the axiomites to a point that you're drawing? Can you make a map now and form something?
Look, wizard, if I made you a map, you'd have no idea what complexities would unfold behind your eyes. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be noise. Yeah, the only thing I know for navigating that noise would be an ancient chaos itself, or maybe perhaps Blazmarin, but these really folk you're trying to work with.
I need you to contain this battle. Give it a cohesive space to happen in.
I don't know what you want me to do.
So you're saying you can't do it. You need something to build from first, which is why you need to get to the Borderlands, right?
He nods solemnly. He looks defeated. His sobs sort of melting away on his face.
All right.
Right.
Dwarf,
Hey,
We're going to be balancing in the middle on this one until we can get Sailix to stop beating up people.
so business as usual is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, just tell me left or right, up and down.
Who's the captain bloke? I forget his name.
Gilroy,
Gilroy.
right?
Yeah, that'd be your friendly pal Gilroy.
All right.
I've got Ellen helping me, right?
So here's what Rune wants to do. He is not keen on either Chaos or Law winning this fight in any way, shape, or form, conceptually or otherwise. And so he's going to do his best to leverage the mages that are on the ship to effectively use their magic to protect the ship, either with walls of force or similar shielding effects.
Alright.
And then he will use what magic he has to keep the sides as even as he can. And if that means healing somebody, he'll do it. But the idea is that he sees this whole thing as very, very pure concept here in the Maelstrom. So he's going to keep it at that, living out his own neutral stance.
Excellent. Assessing the battlefield. The violence has begun. If you're looking to maneuver away so that the ship is not damaged by the crash, you can with the pilot check from LN or from Waldorff. Something that you do see a ship that is sort of dive-bombing towards you, to dodge this attack, just weaving around the battlefield, not unlike you lot are, but headed towards you.
All right. Let's see what they got to say.
Brilliant.
As long as they're not looking to
Red.
ram us.
You see something, though,
crafting
the
check
ship.
from me.
Yeah, absolutely. The ships that approach behind Sailix, they help him lead a charge. Sailix engages in a battle to bolster the Valkyries. Excellent job on crafting check. A 41.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
You do have no issue. You could move this ship that is tailing you, if you would like.
Does Rune recognize
It's a very
anyone on it?
strange. No, very interesting individuals though. This thing, it almost appears to glow red. Its sails like brilliant hues of orange.
All right, so via the telepathic bond, Rune is going to let Dorf know that he is going to head over to the other ship, and we'll let him know when Dorf should meet back up so Rune can jump back onto this one.
All right.
I find
So
it interesting
basically
that
what's
through
gonna
the
happen
telepathic bond, you're like my
Go
eyes,
ahead.
and I don't even have to be like. I don't even have to see what I'm doing. I can just steer the ship from
That's
down
fair.
here as long as I'm like watching it from Rune's perspective.
So Rune is going to go to the aft of the ship as the other boat is trailing, and he's essentially going to dimension door, knowing that the other ship will essentially catch up to its distance by the time he exits again. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does. Where they will be and not where they are. Clever. So you will head to this ship. You're going to be landing directly on the deck.
Yeah.
All right. So recap, as you are looking out, Sailix is engaging in a battle. These one-man and one-woman armies that aid the Valkyries are wiping out Proteans left and right. Sailix fights as if he's one of them. Legion carves a path in this space, not through flight, but through the use of this ship, and I imagine a combination of leaps and jumps to make way from one enemy to the next. Is that correct?
Yeah. Is there kind of like floating rocks and rubble and whatnot through here? These. Oh, so I'm sure we've all seen the scene in the anime, or I think there's this scene in the Spider-Verse where they jump and then like run along the piece of the crumbling tower and then leap to the next piece.
Oh yeah.
So that's essentially what Legion is doing, and then back to the ship when it comes within range.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like, you can make 2 attack rolls for me to account for 2 individual opportunities to strike at a cluster of these proteins as they move towards your unit alongside Sailix, and then we will have our Greenland teleporter.
Oh, I think I can do that.
All right.
And I can't resist. Actually, the first attack, I would like to use my flurry of blows, which would actually be 2 attacks.
All right. Do it. Let's see what of this swarm. You're actually being swarmed by what are called void worms.
Hang on.
Here in the open space, they adapt to be whatever they want to be and whatever they need to be for a time in the maelstrom. This effect is amplified with the hive mind nature that they seem to synaptically communicate with one another, and they've unified to swarm you.
Where is my... just having trouble finding my attacks. So I've got my javelin, but I don't have my unarmed attacks on the sheet.
So just make the javelin attack since it's the same bonus.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Oh.
Give me your point.
No, it's okay, because I still have another attack in the same action. Because of flurry of blows. Yeah,
all right.
A little better.
So your fist will do, I believe it's 3d8 plus 11 damage.
I believe so, yeah.
I want that. All right. Many void worms would be obliterated using a combination of your dexterous movements and the might of your unarmed attacks. As you weave through, Sailix, I want to ask what your plan is here as these proteans close in.
Are they just coming at him in like a wedge formation, or like a wall of them, or are they like just swarming?
Yeah, it's an A formation. They are just swarming you from all directions. In this ravenous little.
So he's by himself still, right?
Indeed. Yep.
All right. So he would go to where they are the thickest and handle that first.
All right.
So this we're gonna make an attack.
Yes. I have the AC that you will need, but basically a mass of void ones. Hold on. $38 will hit. All of them, for sure.
So this is a scythe because it gets fun.
Move.
You use power attack, so it is double damage. Not double. It's not double like a crit, so it's just an extra 3d12. So it's not everything. So, right. First. That.
Points.
And then it was and then there's deadly, which it wasn't good. So yeah, so he did that. He makes 2 more regular attacks because his power attack only counts as 1. That was it. Yeah, he just goes up to the giant wall of podiums and with his dexterously moving his scythe around. Pretty much once it starts moving, he keeps it flipping about his body, over and around his back, up again. The blade is lashing out at any large group that comes at him. Yep.
You notice further away, the Proteans are actually met with ranks. Other soldiers in long garb. Armored robes as well as full sets of armor. They move in. And then off in the distance you see just a long... Well, it's hard to describe really, because you're met with the noise that is an innumerable amount of Proteans. You're outnumbered, to be sure, but these valiant warriors don't seem to be fazed by it. Coming between you and Legion, Sailix, another one of these immortal warriors. She aids in the fight. The strength of the Valkyries and their kind, they grow in response, and in sort of a blitzkrieg, you travel towards these Proteans. One more thing before we return to the sea. Rune, you materialize on this ship, is that correct?
Yeah, so Rune's, to be completely honest, pulling off the very cool walking towards the back of the Raven's Wing, and then just disappears in sort of this portal of raven feathers, and then casually walks onto the other ship, reappearing in a similar portal of raven feathers.
Well, Rune, a band of adventurers, not unlike you and yours, greet you. at the deck of this ship. This ship is admittedly quite otherworldly. However, the captain is humanoid, all intents and purposes, turning on your heels to look you straight in the eye. Before popping your head. We'll return to that.
Fair.
But first, as we move down the chain of these skill actions in the heat of life-threatening situations, I wanted to ask Vetpa.
Yes.
You may make stealth for initiative, and
Okay.
if you see these people, you can act before they have a chance to search for you.
Okay. Was my punch in the dreamscape enough to wake up Kai?
Certainly was.
Okay. Phew.
No.
We can figure out the rest later then.
So 36. It does beat. It beats all of these. You are.
And I also have the feat where if I tie with anybody, then I go first.
Right. So, you can make out at least 4 people moving along the main floor. I think you're a level up, where the sleeping rooms are in this sort of hut-shaped room. She's awake. She will not act until her initiative. But what would you do?
So I guess my first question is if this is a space where V has had time to set up and prepare, are there traps within it? And then the second question I have is if there are traps or things to utilize within this room, and then if there's an easy way to escape otherwise, if the first 2 are untrue.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a lot of live traps for this because of the combination of Kai being sort of like a something agent. I don't know if double agent is the word, but she's been working with the people that are somewhere along the good people and the baddies, kind of spectrum of things. So she's had guests cheated, so to speak. And a tripwire would probably be a surefire way to not have guests return. But I'm sure there are things you could make traps out of, or things you could take advantage of in this environment, as it were. Maybe seconds you have before they make their way up the stairs.
Otherwise, is there a way to escape?
Yeah, there are viewing gates, so maybe not exactly windows, but yeah, you could open a window and escape through the ceiling. So it is sort of dome-shaped, so you're a bit up top, which give you relative cover probably if there are people outside.
Let's see. So like Kai, or so sorry. Vespa would very quickly do the thing of eyes on me and then count for Kai, and then downstairs, and I guess she would get into an attack position because Kai's probably groggy, but set it up so she's on the other side of the door or whatever with Valgora at the ready. If I can see any of them, I will mark them for assassination, unless for some reason they look friendly.
Yeah. Okay. They don't look friendly.
Okay.
The first thing you would do is to mark them for assassination, and if they make their way up, it wouldn't be because you can ready an action to attack if someone comes up.
Yeah. So
Or-
basically, what was that?
So you could mark, or you could ready an action. But because it would be.
I basically want to have her, like, you know, again, hiding behind, not like behind the door, but like, right behind the wall, the door frame. And, you know, as somebody's coming up the stairs, I would mark them. Because the way you described it is right now, none of them are actually, like, visible. I'm just hearing noises.
Right, I can hear them downstairs.
Yeah.
Sort of stony, oral, human state. So, moving up, in robes, in a quiet outfit. One you don't recognize, and out of town, there are plenty of them lately. Stops halfway up the stairs. You can see a plate. Vanishes as they cast invisibility on themselves before heading up further.
I have legendary perception. Do I get a save to try to pierce it, or no? I don't know how that works.
I will look, and if you see them, you will have marked them for death. But
Yes.
in the meantime, I will ask, Kai, you've been woken up, gently. Yeah.
Very gently. So I mean, Kai was drugged to sleep, so she's probably definitely very groggy. And sort of the first thing in her mind is that Vespa's not supposed to be here. So I mean, I guess she'll kind of put a hand on Erin's arm and try and like point for her to like leave.
Okay. So in that case, if I have the time, I would try to jump through the, you know, ceiling window, but like hang out so I can hear if she's okay.
Yeah, that is a great idea, because
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, well, that'll perpetuate Kai's cover. Shallow as the cover might be, but yeah. So Kai, you hear a sharp poke, as it were, headed up the stairs to speak with you. She looks angry as she makes way up. Vespa, this will be officially per the tournament order. This will be before you can get a chance to sneak up to the ceiling.
Okay.
But the invisible person presumably has not entered yet. Just this sharp boat. You have a chance to say something to her as she wakes you up, probably in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so I feel like Kai would just sort of stride over to the doorway to kind of like block the view so that Vespa would get a chance to climb up. and just sort of like not pretending to be tired because she is tired, kind of like rub her eyes and it's like, well, I wasn't expecting visitors this late in the night.
A Diedrich marrow has been recovered.
Alive?
He is alive. He speaks only 2 names. You are one of them. The Merkin
What's the other?
seeks your attendance.
All right.
Come.
Let me. Yeah, she'll step out into like the hall and close the door behind her.
Now. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No, this is perfect because, Vespa, do you have Detect Magic?
Yes.
That may be what helps you here. You would not be able to locate this invisible person. At least, as far as I can tell. But it seems the invisible person has not stuck around in Kai's living quarters. They instead have opted to follow her and Samath, Sharkfoot, back into town. Well, sort of in the center of town, for some reason. You can tell them if you would like.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen people in quite some time. So another stealth check as you navigate, just to be sure that nobody sees you, but also to determine whether or not Kai will see you.
Okay.
Slinking on back.
I
roll
am
perception?
hero pointing that.
Great idea.
Look.
Talk about opposite ends of the
I
spectrum.
Once again, I am Secret Agent Metal Gear.
Yeah, no. You fall out of existence there for some full time. Well, Kai thinks that you're not following, so.
Yeah. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Yeah, so, interesting. Deidre's been missing for quite some time, and nobody really ever acknowledged that he was gone. But now, suddenly, it seems like officials are ready to put Kai in the loop here. Something's fishy, for sure, but we will get back to it. Because Rune has met some Bismarcks. Oh, Ravenswood. Oh, Ravenswood. What have you done?
We're about to find out.
Yeah. We are. Well, this woman turns on her heels.
Yeah, and as she cocks her head, he just looks at her. Are you the captain here, I presume?
Well, yes, that would be me. The captain.
My name's Rune Ravenswood. Close enough. How are you?
Well. It seems you're here by mistake.
Well, no, we meant to be here. Maybe not necessarily here, although we're in the Maelstrom, so I'm not quite sure how here is different from there.
Stares out sort of into the choke point of this battle where so few people do so much damage. A winged elf monstrous combatants on board ships, the Valkyries, and their chargers. They fight these Protoss, slaying them in droves. And she sort of watches out as this ship very gracefully dodges any bit of calamity or danger on the way sort of to that inky void off in the end, a calm part of a very chaotic battlefield. Well, people come to this plane very frequently. I'll have you know, they're drawn to these hazards. In this continuum, you can't find a quiet part of the maelstrom. And that's because, well, the things, they beget things. Would you like a way out?
Eventually, yeah, I would. Oh, you're selling it. Well, we'll need to hold off on that real quick then. For now, I'm really looking for my compatriot's mother. And then I wouldn't mind catching a glimpse of the tower, but that's not really a requirement. And then sometime after that, we could probably look for a way out. However, if you're selling it, now is really not a good time. I don't have a lot to negotiate with, to be completely honest. There's this whole battle going on, and it's really taking up a lot of my brain power to try and figure out.
Well, Larry, room.
Where am I headed?
So much of the maelstrom. So close. Why are you here?
Oh, to find my friend's mother, mainly. As a rune will point to the battle. See that bloke with the wings?
Yeah, the one fighting everyone. This one's.
He'll really just he'll fight anything. Don't worry about the side as far as he's concerned. He was under the impression that his mother might be here somewhere. Here being the maelstrom. He's not much of a thinking kind of person, so it was beholden unto me to get him here, help him find his mother, and then figure out a way for all of us to get back alive. So far, I've been doing a pretty good job. And then Law and Chaos decided to have a war on the Maelstrom, and shit just goes to hell.
Oh, it hasn't come to hell yet.
That's a fair
Phrase
point.
like that
Yeah.
carries weight here. Now, I will ask, because there are very few reasons to truly visit the Maelstrom. You're quite close to many. If I were to visit the material plane, to choose a random location, if I were to land right in the center of Absalom, you'd find that a coincidence.
Not after being here, I wouldn't, but let's go with it. Yeah, sure.
See what approaches. She points out. It looks like a tall wall, maybe like a border, as it were, off in the distance, but impossibly large. Sort of moving in far on the other side of these prophets. Why do I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that you're headed for that?
Oh, well, I mean, we are eventually. It's the Borderlands. It's the only... Well, you know the Borderlands, I mean...
Oh, No, 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 no. You're misguided. And with a snap of her finger, someone hands her a telescope, and she'll pass it to you, Rune, and then point to your friends. By friends, I mean Legion and the elf to which you are owned. Now, I'll ask first. In the epicenter here of what's unfolding, castles crashing overhead. Legion, what are you doing in this fight?
Laughing. Anything that comes near the ship, with the Einherjar, and the Valkyria, he is just lashing out, grabbing things, grabbing Proteans, hurling them into the distance, smashing them with his fists. He's just kind of turned into a bit of an avalanche, a wrecking ball, as it were.
Fighting alongside your brave warriors, but also a Sailix, Lavendale.
Yeah, these are his friends, basically, or at least the entities in the Maelstrom that he is the most familiar with. These are the beings that know Legion, and the first ones to kind of find him and befriend him. Drinking buddies, basically.
Yeah.
For Valhalla.
And verily, they fight along, but you do see the ranks. Humanoid, many of them, now replacing the Proteans. You've known for a long time that the Proteans are allied with people that make this plane their home. And Sailix, I'll ask what you do as ranks close in on you. Fighting alongside, you can speak with Legion if you'd like.
Sailix is an equal opportunity killer, you know. Step up, you'll all die the same. So if they're being closed in on, Sailix will nod to Legion and then tap the back of Leviathan where the blade is not and fly a little bit further out and start to slowly spin, as in he's going to give him a boost to launch him into the ranks of the humans.
Gonna launch Legion?
Yeah. Like he literally tapped in the back of his sight and he's like flew out a little bit further and he's like,
yeah, buddy. So you see this big, like, when it clicks for Legion, there's just this big grin that kind of crosses Legion's face. And in that moment, you see him kind of shimmer a little bit. And all of a sudden, he doesn't look like Legion. It's like a glamour or an illusion has dropped. And you see that he has this almost stony appearance to his skin. He's wearing arm wraps that go up to halfway up his arms. He has a shield on his back. He has a javelin in his hand now. And these boots, these like furred boots that come about halfway up his calves, and he is very obviously a construct. And you hear the thudding clank as he, takes 2 steps and leaps towards you, hits that exact spot that you were kind of ready for him, and just turns into a boulder into the ranks of these warriors.
So as he connects, Sailix finishes the spin with a little bit of extra oomph, just kind of really throwing him as like that point of contact before following him at a much slower pace, but he's following in.
Now, Rune, you do see something troubling through the looking glass. These figures that close in, as you tighten up, you see equipment scattering. The debris. Legion, you've been launched towards the enemy. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm doing my battle cry as I hurtle through the air.
Absolutely trebuchet. And then the flanks closing in on Sailix to try to tactically disengage this living catapult. Sailix, you've been slicing them left and right. Now magic meets might here as the battle breaks the mundane seal, as it were, and things start to get a little bit interesting. Armored mages, they fight not before being broken, sometimes accidentally dismembered by these Valkyries and their kind. Sailix, you're very much, you're in great company, because everything you do is met with equal enthusiasm, if not equal skill, by the Valkyries. They follow the same policy. You get in my face, and you find out. So, Rune, what you see is troubling them. In an explosion of magic, someone caught in crossfire, redirected by Sailix, a shield goes flying, and in the glimmer, you make out a shape. A face you see through that glass. A shield worn by one of the clerics that engaged Sailix Lavendale. He drifts out into space, dead. His equipment.
Is that eerily reminiscent to the pendant that Rune, or the symbol that Rune wears?
That would be a symbol of Nethys. Indeed.
Fuck.
And you figure out that doesn't. Off in the distance,
the
it
castle
doesn't
wall
appear
that.
of Borderlands. It's actually a large, impossibly large, sort of disc shape. In fact, there's an oasis, a lensing effect sort of when you stare at it. It's hard to make out what it truly is. But off in the distance, a significant part of the mythology of your god revolves around something described like this, and that is a disc-like structure. A plane within this plane, but a physical one, spires dotting it all around with an extremely large crown, except no pole, a flat base. You couldn't make out any geography because it's just that large. This is almost like a celestial body out in the distance.
This is the Wizard's Tower of all Wizard's Towers.
It would be.
It is a spire of
now,
Nethys.
With the sense of scale you need to have, understand that it's extremely far away. But what do you do, Rune, as Legion and Sailix find great success in the battle so far?
So I want to make sure. that I understand the scene here. So you had the battle between Law and Chaos and the imagery that goes along with that. Sailix and Legion going about their day, having a grand old time, murdering whatever got in their way, and then suddenly the forces of Nethys, so to speak, decided to get into the fray. Is that kind of what I'm?
Well, it looks for a second. This acolyte of Nethys who's been killed by Sailix. There's been a score of them at least by now. Had a shield of Nethys. They're in ranks with these Proteans, it seems. They're not fighting one
Yeah, I'm
another.
not surprised. Yeah. All right. Well, firstly, through the telepathic bond with Sailix, Rune will pass along in very calming words. So, Sailix, we are within a maelstrom spitting distance of the Tower of Nethys, and you are currently murdering his acolytes, if that means anything to you. And
Sailix
if
will
it doesn't,
respond.
I would ask that it would.
Sailix will respond back. So, my dear wizard, they stepped up, so they got sat the fuck down. I'm busy. Trying not to
Get
die.
wrecked.
Legion, you are on telepathy, by the way. You may speak.
Say that again?
Actually, I don't know. Would Legion be put on the telepathic bond? Did Rune?
If there was
Well,
if there was any sort of day span between when we met him, yes. If not, then no.
Oh yeah, there's been plenty of time.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I guess there has been time, but every time Legion tries to speak through the telepathic bond, it's either one of two things. It's either like trying to talk to stone. If you remember when Waldorff cast Stone Sense back at the was it the Slag?
No.
Or it sounds like 1,000 people all trying to talk at once.
Well, that's fair. Do they all say the same thing at the same time? Because that would be appropriate.
Mostly, but there's always a few dissenting voices in the background that make it hard to understand what he's trying to say. So he stays quiet for the most part. It's mostly like grunts and very simple kind of... Since it is telepathic, it's more like emotion and images and feelings. He isn't going to really try and use words much, I don't think, because it would just be confusing.
Okay.
Sailix
Rune will look to the... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Sailix will look around, like, how does the battle look like it's going right now?
It's impossible to say. According to your closest friend, it's going great. By the numbers, it's hard to tell.
Right. And is anybody, like, the ship's doing okay in its area? Like, no one's heading towards it or anything?
Yeah, the ship's okay.
I was going to say, do I need to do another piloting check?
Actually, yeah, well, before we're at it, let's make another piloting check.
Why did I say something? Yikes.
Yeah. Pretty good roll.
You should say okay.
So Sailix will go back over the telepathic bond as he lets out a quite vicious throw of Leviathan. And as the blade whirled out, he kind of appears under something that it chopped in half, grabbing it. But he'll stay over the telepathic bond. And what is it you would like me to do, Rune?
I don't know. Not kill the god of magic's people. But you know what? You do you.
Legion
Let me
has
try and figure something out.
grasped somebody and hurled it past Sailix. Just a body flies by. Yeah.
Rune will put the eyeglass down and look to the Captain Mayor. So you're telling me that is it's Nethys' realm over there? Is that about right?
Definitely. Indeed.
Could you take me there?
It's where you might not ask. She looks, and with eyes, you see small triangles, and her amber eyes, they glow gold, and they light up in rings in clockwise and counterclockwise fashion, and then a ship with sort of matching colors and geometry starts to just shift over, and with absolute grace, dodging the battle, it makes way to the realm of Nethys. We'll cut here. Rune Ravenswood headed to the domain of his god and claimed not of his birth. Sailix Lavendale commanding a pristine army of immortal fighters. Legion, the construct, fighting chaos by the bucket, and the cartographer is hiding in a barrel, but more on that later. Now, back to below the sea. You're led around in Talasantu. You don't have proof that the Vesperine would be following you, but you would imagine she wouldn't just let you embark on this alone. Do you say anything to Senat, this shark folk? She leads you around this aquatic city.
Yeah. Still finally kind of pipe up. So where did you find him?
No questions yet.
And the way that they're walking. Does Kai recognize where they're going? Are they going to where they said that they were?
So you're being led to the center of town, but off center. You think you're headed towards the Undertow, which is that little underworld under the main city. It's a hub of crime and a bit of black market down there. That when you did hear word of outsiders coming from other parts of the sea to check on crime, because people have been rather disruptive around Talasantu lately. This could have something to do with that. But do either of you have any actions to take before that arrival?
I mean, again, I feel like if V is hanging out stealthily and sneakily, like, she's marking the meanest looking one for that because, you know, we take no chances in this house. And then I guess my next question is, like, having more familiarity with the Undertow than Kai perhaps, does it seem like, you know, again, because I heard the conversation they had, does it seem like he is on the level as far as where he's taking her and everything?
He being who? Being this shark boat?
Yeah, whoever was, like, telling her that they had Dietrich and they were taking her somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so this shark boat, she won't tell any sort of understanding about what's going on. If you try to read her face, she seems like she's relaying this message. Even though the way she words it makes it sound like it's something she knows. It sounds like she's being told to tell Kai that Dietrich is being held. It sounds like she's trying to say it from a point of knowledge, but it's sort of just relaying information and trying to lure Kai to this undertow.
Okay, so it doesn't seem on the level.
It doesn't seem what?
On the level.
How do you figure?
Well, so you said lore, right? Or did I mishear?
I said what?
You said it. See, the read I got is that she's trying to lure her somewhere, like for a trap. Or am I mishearing?
No, so
Oh, okay.
she's trying to get Kai to go to the undertow. Not trying to communicate this or have anyone come to her, but specifically trying to get her to the location. So lure in the sense that we need you to follow us kind of thing, and not we need you to press the button. We promise it's not crap, but more so, we definitely need to talk to you in the shadiest part of town kind of thing.
Okay. Then yeah, I would like I said, mark whichever one for death. That looks the scariest. And otherwise just follow.
All right. You're brought to the undertow. 2 guards watch a gate in a seedy-looking, well, I guess it's a club of sorts down below. Been here before, but it looks like it's under new management recently. 2 sea elves, they open the door to let the sharp folk as well as Kai in. There is an elven mage that follows with them, the one that turned invisible but is now just walking along as part of the escort. And they move in. Vespa, you were to follow them. You can make a stealth check. Unless you'd rather be disguised as somebody and try to move in with an alias.
Ooh. Let's see. Are there enough people moving back and forth and stuff to just fill in with whatever?
Yeah, well, they're checking people one by one as they move in to this establishment.
All right, then yeah, I'll do a quick disguise.
Right. So, this is a sort of a seedy establishment. You would imagine in all ways to the overworld. This is the underwater parallel equivalent. So you would find a glass of water on each table, but you would find very similar arrangements, dark lights, snacks, and music. When you make your way in, sitting in a sort of table, it's these sort of calcified seats. They don't look very comfortable, but they don't quite need to be in an environment like this. Kai, you're led to the darkest corner of the room. A tentacled woman stares at you. She looks somewhat regal and somewhat, just say it, like an outlaw at the same time. Kind of person that everybody knows, but nobody could really capture.
Kai would just sort of incline her head respectfully to her. And then, well, either I've gone blind or there's not a 9-foot man here.
Well, we speak of a 9-foot man. Put Pat on the seat beside her. You see a few moves, tentacles sort of move out of the way to form more of a humanoid posture to give you room to scoot in.
She'll sit.
I have information. You know about. Now, I want to ask, Vespa, what's your plan here to drop in on this conversation?
I feel like she would sort of do the thing if... So it's not a private room, right? It's just in the main bar area, right?
Yeah, but it is very much a secluded corner that people don't wish to eavesdrop on because it seems she has her own pair of guards, as it were.
Okay. So
They take a form of this, yeah.
I feel like she would basically, you know, grab a drink at the bar or whatever, and then just try to, like, lounge, look casual, but, like, lounge about, like, as close as she can within hearing range. You know, like, obviously, doing what she can to avoid drawing attention to herself, but, like, so, like, you know, stealthily, but in that way of, like, you know, I'm just some background person, not anything of interest or importance. So I don't know if you want me to roll stealth or not, but, like, you know.
I'm gonna have her roll a perception check in secret.
Okay.
And we will see if there's a gleaming. Fine. So this woman, half octopus, Cecilia, is her climb. Those are the guards as well with the tentacles. They sort of float about, getting too much of a push from their little limbs, sort of keeping themselves afloat. But she's sitting here, enjoying a fine evening. And with hesitation, she leans in again. They look deep towards her. They have. He's found.
Do you have any proof?
We'll have to confess. Oh, we should do it from my pocket. A piece of, well, it looks like mossy rock, sort of, except there's a bit of green crystal sticking out of it. It's from his armor.
And what does this have to do with the Merking?
Mm. Mm. Wow. We seek not much. The Vesperin, she must go. King cannot be stopped. By the peace here in Talasante, as far as I can tell now, the Vesperin must go. It will be quite all right.
So are you asking me to take out the Vesperin?
The Vesperin does not leave by the day of great import. Diedrich will be tortured to death, slowly. My control.
So you're proposing a trade?
Nonsense.
Now, what makes you think that I even know where the Vesperin's at?
Just rolls her eyes. She'll get up from that. I thought you were serious.
Serious as one can be when you're proposing this sort of trade. I need more proof that he's alive.
We can make more proof. So with a smile,
Something more
and
than just
she'll turn
pieces.
to leave. Her guard sort of walking out with her. Any plans to follow, or are you looking to sort of regroup here, Kyle?
So the guards have left.
They've left with her, and she's moved to leave this establishment.
No, she's gonna follow them.
You're going to follow them.
Yep.
All right. So, Vesper, I'm going to give you a chance to tell Kai that she's probably out of her depth. Now, if you want, or you could just let her follow.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is, as Kai starts to follow, me in disguise, is going to, do the drunken stumble of like, oh god, wow, why are there like 4 of you? Like, when did this happen? You were in my way, and now you're here, and what are you doing?
Kai will let said person fall and just sort of step out of the way.
Oh, no, she's falling on Kai. Like,
Yeah.
And you will notice that, curiously, this person adjusts like they're some sort of master of acrobatics to purposely get in her way.
Oh. She doesn't want to just leave this random person who's all helpless. She'll just sort of pat this person on the back. Dear, you should sit down. I need to go.
So this person would like call Kai closer. Just be like, come here a second. I got something really important to tell you. Just 1 second, okay? 1 second.
Kai will humor her.
And darling, you should also go.
Kai tries not to look surprised, but probably does. She's not good at that.
You don't have to take it that badly! Oh my god, I said you were pretty! Why won't you love me?
Kai desperately looks like she wants to follow, but we'll just sort of pat her on the back and sit her down. Let's just get you a drink of water.
My last boyfriend gave me a ring and it dissolved in my hand. Who does that?
Oh, I know nothing about that.
The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Ooh. Well.
So basically,
Yeah.
we would, take the water and then be like gesturing towards the actual door, for them to regroup.
Let's get you home.
Listen, I'm
Kind of.
fine. I can just, take a dolphin or something. There are fucking dolphins here, right? That's how people get around. I don't know.
If I let you walk in the undertow by yourself, you're going to end up in a ditch somewhere. Yeah, Kai will regroup with her begrudgingly.
Yeah. And then, as soon as it's just, basically, we will make a show of, going to stay in some, slum or something like that. And then just, follow Kai back to wherever's a safe house or whatever, but, stealthily.
All right. And that begins a period of planning. You know Diedrich is alive. That's a huge advance. You also know that weird crime figures are moving into the city, apparently, on the heels of several events that have captured the attention of the oppressive Mer King from the faraway kingdom. Now, I want to return to that after some time, but first, things seem to be going just according to plan for Sailix, Rune, Legion, and Waldorff, split as they are. Rune, you're making way aboard that ship to the realm of Nethys, in the Maelstrom. You have your familiars with you?
Helps if I was not muted.
Now-
Yes, he would.
Yes. All right. Well, it'll take quite some time to get there. But you watch sort of the battle unfold. Sailix,
On the
you find yourself.
on the trip,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say on this trip there, Rune will look at the Captain Mayor. Why are you doing this?
On me. Payment.
And what payment do you seek?
This isn't by any immediate virtue, but tyrants. You seem desperate, desperation. Oh, it's our economy.
Ah, I see. All right then.
Is that not satisfactory to this wither?
I mean, it
You rather-
makes sense. Satisfactory is relative.
I still feel as though something is missing. Dear Rune, it was?
Rune Ravenswood, yeah.
Rune. Rune of Ravens. You seek Nethys. Who doesn't? Least of your inclinations. But friends have here all for different reasons.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I don't seek Nethys. Nethys is, I mean, let's face it, Nethys is beyond me. What I do seek, however, is what he knows. But I can figure that out on my own. Right now, I need what's inside those walls to help, well, 2 people.
All right.
At some point in time, Nethys will see me. That's when I'll be happy.
If you're searching for something, seek Nethys is to pay a price of insanity. Not recommended. I can take you to the city of Basketball. From there you can get where you need to go. Not in the virtue that you know where you are, but have money. People will take you where you need to go. People tend to know where things are there, and not at this cost that you see with us. You don't pay in the insanity that the god of chaos would peddle, nor do you pay. You're a strange man, really. There are similar ways of doing these things. Would you like to visit the city of Basketball?
Oh, you say there are simpler ways?
She'll glare at you for that.
I just said, you said there were simpler ways. The follow-up question to that really is, are they more interesting?
A million souls
Personally, I can't.
live in the city of Basketball. You're unprepared. The realm of Nethys will drive you insane. Hospitality is not what he's known for. I can take you and your friends to that city. From there, whatever you're looking for, if you don't find it, it'll find you.
Fair enough. What? You say I and my compatriots, right?
Indeed.
And what is the payment to you in return?
Do you have?
What?
You can make a check if you're inquiring about player knowledge. This woman does seem a little strange to you. The thing with her eyes, how she controlled the ship, the nature of this ship. It's not befitting with a maelstrom. I guess it would be an Arcana check.
Arcana I like.
She's not from here, nor is she from the material plane.
Are you trying to go home?
Her eyes drop when you say that. Now, Runeswood.
Rosewood.
Rune is fine.
Ravenswood.
He laughs. Rune is fine.
I'd kill you if you were worth enough. I embrace that in myself. Greedy as can be. It's my kind, it's my creed. That's not why I followed Besnara, but it's where it's led me. So I asked the scion of Nephis how he feels about his god.
Oh. That is a that's a tough question to answer. Nethys figured out a secret that I think I am close to understanding. And I am jealous of him for learning it first, and in awe of him for figuring it out. But I'm close. And when I do figure it out, then he'll see me.
You should sing praise to God that gives you strength and sing it with the fullness of heart. Do not as I did and lose your heart in singing. Become a petty criminal. And I can tell you've been wondering. The plane of air.
Genie.
Look around, the ship is sort of an embodiment of her nature. This thing. You can catch a glimpse of it in that plane. All of these souls.
I'm sure it would be beautiful.
As Mara, through a blessing, as I saw it at the time, she allowed me some of my kind and my very own ship to the maelstrom. Pursuit of profit. I'm quite sure I can return. However, not without my ship. And that's on Captain White.
I would agree wholeheartedly. What if I could get your ship there?
Pops her head and smiles. Now we're talking. I'm going to cut here as you're sort of stalled a bit in indecision on this genie's ship. But Sailix, you're starting to find, I don't know what you would call it. You've seen victory after victory here with your team. Your planner guard is not with you, but it's the Valkyries. It's legions. You've cleared hatch, and now you have relative open space before more will inevitably move in to meet you. You have a moment to speak with Legion. Legion, I imagine you will just land on a nearby ship to wait a bit. But what would you say to him?
What would I say to Legion?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck 11. Sailix will just look and just ask, what's the end game? Like, what is he looking for out of this one?
We seek the mother. we seek the Earth
Right.
Father. We came to this place because only in chaos may the path be found. Only here may we hear her voice. This is the place between all places. And so this is where we listen for her. And here is where we found the cartographer. And he will show us the way.
Right. Well, he's on the boat.
Yes. The boat.
And you're not.
We can find the boat again. The
All right.
Valkyria will take us to the boat.
That's assuming any of them are left.
Oh, there are always a few left. You
Small
will take
tower.
us to the boat.
Approaches atop it, a mage. This one's split. The figure almost like a piece from a chessboard, except a fusion. Stark white and pitch black. It's a very small spire, though. Nothing impressive. Almost like a messenger of sorts. Approaches towards Sailix and Legion.
So that's to look like a friend of yours?
We have, well, the word friend seems to confuse him.
Right. Try to
No,
think hard about it.
we've never seen this one before.
Sailix will, I guess, go forward to meet them in the mid.
This strange creature with a tall, pointed hat, jutting angular eyes, and 4 arms, 2 of which hold the staff of Mephis.
Legion is right behind Sailix, like towering over him.
Perfect. The wave of an arms, an incantation that casts a spell. His alien voice smoothens out. It searches for a voice that it's heard and then begins to speak. In common, where you two meet with a language.
Ah,
This strange 7.5 foot tall alien-like creature atop this small spire looks down to you. Notice the forces start to dissipate. We have an opportunity.
Have opportunities every day. Have an opportunity to kill you. But we're talking. So that's
he
one
is
opportunity.
very tall. He may be hard to kill.
Sailix will just kind of look behind at Legion and be like,
Do you feel it? And you notice that massively large disc far off in the distance, on the other side of the Proteans that have approached. It is approached and also become lower. It is so large, and so far away. And you know this because of depth perception. And I assume Rune has to have some idea because he's very smart. To make up for the eye thing, yeah, I'm sorry. Now, it starts to pull on you a little bit, it seems. Common alien figure with the large pointed top. Our realm will produce a force. It will take you. Fight as you might. Try to fly. The ships would fall the same. Acids crumbling. You may flee, or you may plummet. You start to feel it. This thing must be the size of a planet in and of itself. Black one. But it's producing a gravity, a pull of sorts now that it's activating on you. You are the astronaut to the celestial body. I'm not talking about Sailix. So,
I am the immovable object.
So it's a real shame that this is Legion and not Rune here. Because Sailix is going to look at this person, and as Leviathan kind of hits his shoulder, and I want you to ask yourself a question, Mage. Does it look like I care? Because if I'm plummeting, why don't I just take you with me? This might be your plane, but I can do one thing really well. I can make sure that you never see the embrace of your god again. And I got a ticket to punch for a god to kill. And he'll point Leviathan at him. And maybe that'll just be yours.
Strong sentiment. Meet my god then. And then they twist. This wizard, probably about as powerful as someone like Rune, he vanishes away. Bolts of sort of playful electricity, rainbow in all directions, and this power sort of crumbles away. But as it falls, it reveals something built within. A massive. The only way to describe it is sort of like a cannon. With this just large barrel, but it has these sort of strange lights to it. The context won't make sense to living creatures who haven't seen well-developed technology. This thing turns and makes a strange clicking noise as it locates an airship in the sky, and with a bolt, the ship is not destroyed, however, a hole punched cleanly through the source of its power. It stops. It's trapped, sort of drifting from its momentum as the gravity starts to set in. Sailix, you can resist this gravity just as you would fly. It would feel as if you're flying upwards. But these ships, these little boats in the sky, weren't designed to, well, fly in an atmosphere. So now, they've begun a descent. Falling towards this planet-sized plate of a realm. You see many, many, many spires dotted all along the rim, sort of as a wall of sorts. But then there are still so many scattered throughout. The main color you see in this disk world would be a tan, for rolling deserts, endlessly large. You imagine there must be some civilizations in there. They are so small and identified. Those of you who do not have a way to resist it, you will be falling in a free fall towards this planet of sorts. But let's take it back real quick. Back over to the material plane, to the sea. Vesperin, Kai, you have turned somewhere safe, somewhere to meet. That could imagine you have safe houses all throughout the city.
Oh yeah. This one looks like, you know, it's behind like a flower shop or something like that. So yeah, so
How much of
basically
that did you hear?
I heard everything.
They have Dietrich.
I thought as much, given what I heard over the dream, but I admit I did not expect I did not expect them to waste their cards so easily. That being said, I think they are getting desperate. If they are coming to you, and on top of which enforcing a timeline, then it really means that on the one hand, I am doing a far better job than I had assumed. But on the other, again, they don't know what to do. But my thought is, if they are this nervous about what it is we are doing and now, then they will be a bit sloppier in their movements, making it easier to track. That said, though, if it comes to it, I am very good at getting out of places that try to hold me.
They didn't want you captured. They just want you out of the city.
Well, that seems even easier then, no? But at the same time, let us see.
Kai just sort of begins to pace as she is trying to figure out what to do. I mean, what if you did just leave the city for a couple of days?
I mean, we have left the city for a couple of days, and they are still, you know, saying these things and blah blah blah. I mean, I could leave and have disguise, but you know, then they will find something else. I don't know. It sounded to me like they wished me to be dead and have some sort of proof of the thing. But, you know, I admit I have a bit of a more deeper understanding of those who are trying to fuck me over.
I can't just let them kill Dietrich.
They won't. No matter what they say, if they kill Dietrich, that is all the leverage that they have. I mean, it is... And she would walk over to Kai and just, presuming that she allows it, would put her arm around her and pull her close. We will find him. And we will get him back. I don't break my word.
Right. I mean, they must have something else if they know that we're connected.
I mean, we entered the city together. It is not... It would be foolish to assume that they did not connect those dots.
Kai just
but
seems frustrated.
But
This isn't my line of work. I don't understand how any of this is functioning or working. If you say that we could get Diedrich back alive, then we need to move.
no. And she would like pull Kai's face, like, so they can look face to face. Right now, we need to stop. We need to think about things. You cannot make any good decisions when you are under duress. You would just run right into a trap, which is what I stopped you from. I know their faces, I know their names. I can send people to look after them, trace them, track them, follow. People who will stand out far less than you will. What I need from you now is trust. Okay? We will work out a plan, but we need more information first. Again, when you have these types that wish to do these things, like, they will just keep asking for more and more and more than you are willing to give. Ideally, we play the card. You were given a time limit, so we will use that time to do research, to find him. And when we know where and how he is being kept, and we have a plan in place to take him back, then we will draw him out, or we will draw them out by using me as bait. So then that way he can be recovered safely.
I feel like so Kai will pull away from best friend, so that she can pace again. It's just like, God damn it, Aaron, you don't understand. They did not give me a time frame. They just said that they're going to torture him and kill him if I do not get you out of the city.
Ian, didn't I thought that I had heard that, like, she had until blah point. Or did I mishear that?
No, I don't think there was a strict time limit, but that. Oh no, well, there is a day of interest, and
Okay.
it is a presumed day in which this Merking will be visiting the city.
Okay.
Quite familiar with rumors about an arrangement of high political interest has this Merking planning a visit to Palisade soon. And she alluded to that rumored day as a potential deadline for resolving the whole Diedrich Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is what I heard because,
Yeah.
like I said, I
Yeah,
thought
so-
it
Went over
was.
Kai's head.
Okay. Yeah. And she'd be like, she would like look flatly back at Kai and be like, Kai, I heard far better than you did. You have until the time the Merking comes. They want me out of the way, so that way he can continue to put pressure on the Queen and further enslave our people. Now, obviously, I don't really think that Diedrich would be particularly happy if, his freedom came at the price of the continued enslavement of our people. So let us work together to avoid this thing, yes?
You're right. You're right. Okay. You just tell me where I need to go.
There is something else I wanted to talk to you about, though. About what we saw before, before we were interrupted. I want you to know that I meant what I said before you went to sleep. Every word. And regardless of what it is that has happened, I want you to be happy more than anything. Because I love you. So, if it is happiness with me, if it is happiness with him, and if it is happiness with both of us, whatever path you choose, I will support you.
She just sort of nods and will step towards Erin and just kiss her lightly on the forehead. One step at a time. It's too much already going on. Don't need to worry about that sort of thing right now.
That is fair. But I cannot help but worry about you.
Fine, I just need to sleep.
Well, I have the drugs again, or there is a far more fun way to relax and exhaust you. Your choice this time.
Let's go.
Fade to
Oh,
black.
right. I'm here. So that brother was good. Now, back to the maelstrom. Okay, so to recap, because there's way too much going on. Essentially, think of a flat planet. No comment. In the shape of a disc. That's the realm of Nethys. It is a massive desert. Above it are there's a war unfolding. An air genie aboard her ship, where the crew has spoken to Rune about a potential proposition to get him where he needs to go, and more importantly, away from this shit show. Now, this planet moving in, it's really a plane. It's the size of a planet, and now it's enacted its gravity on the war, this battle, as the Proteans have started to lose. So it's sucking everything toward it. That's with the exception of things that can fly magically. Now, this tower has been struck by a strange wizard, really. He has transformed an illusory spire of sorts. It was actually a cannon that pierced a hole in the Ravenswood ship. It is plummeting. I will say Sailix, Legion, Dorf, Galen, not Galen, sorry. Legion, Dorf, Sailix, Rune, and Gilroy. Little slip there. Where in the world is Galen Brightburn anyway? I guess we won't know until you find the tombstone. But what would you say?
Hey!
In the moments before this thing eventually might start breaking apart. I mean, Waldorff, do you have a plan?
Yeah, I'm the only one left on the ship, so at this point in time, it's my ship.
Tell that to Rue.
Everyone
After
else
we're
has
done
run
with
away. No,
Not LM.
the crew, the guard are all running and screaming and losing their heads. I just watched the engine that I was working on vaporize in front of myself, and it's just me and Ellen down here in the hold, in the engine room. Waldorff, through the telepathic bond, you get a "What the bloody hell was that?" by Pharasma's tits.
Oh my.
And then we start to plummet. Well, Sailix is just rubbing off on him a little too much. And Waldorff kind of goes into problem-solving mode. He sees everybody running, and there's, pipes that now lead to nothing. And he starts barking orders at Ellen. Get that barrel over here, and you hook up this pipe, and I'll take care of things. And you see, he drags out the head of Vishumerix and starts hooking pipes up to like the esophagus and the gullet, and pouring dwarven whiskey into the head of a magma dragon as a backup power source to keep this airship from plummeting into the ground. And I'm looking at all of my skills, and it's like, all right, so I've got Inventor, and I'm really glad I took Craft Anything at level 15, because I feel like that's going to come in handy.
I would say that's
magical crafting. Alchemical crafting, magical crafting, improvised tool, quick repair, literally every untrained improvisation, craft anything. Yeah, I'm putting all of my the shit has hit the fan and we have to keep people alive skills to work, including some of the medical training, because he's also a medic. And knowing the anatomy and physiology of a magma dragon is coming in really handy, like knowing which one is the esophagus and which one is the trachea, and getting the spark to light. So he is
very fair point. Now
trying to improvise a new power source for the engines.
Right, now, telepathically, you can speak to the woman. He's invested, it's his ship. And to Sailix, he's invested, it's his men.
It's my ship.
Where are you headed?
Hey, possession is 9/10 of the law, and neither of you are here right now, so whoever gets back first gets to claim the ship.
Sailix is on his way back. He's
I could use a little bit of the waggly fingers.
so Sailix had asked the Valkyries around that were in the contingent that was fighting with him to help him. His idea is to, pull the ship back from the gravitational pull before it starts to disintegrate from picking up too much momentum going into the Roman business, and to hopefully buy more time so something else can be figured out, or just pull back out. Whatever. So that's where Sailix is heading.
They reported quite soon after that an issue. The ship is beginning to heat up. It's getting hot. It's hard to know how fast anything's going because all the distances are really relative, so it's sort of close, but there is a lot of velocity here as it starts plummeting towards the desert below. Now,
Rune will look at the Captain Mare, particularly after hearing Dorf. Pardon me, Captain. I understand your ship is pretty quick and agile. Is that right?
I think he's talking to you.
Would you mind maneuvering a little bit closer to my ship? As any good captain would say, I've got to save my boat.
a good captain would simply go down with it. So let's. And then she
Well, that would
sort of
imply
had-
that the ship is going down. Not if I have anything to say about it.
in her neck, hold on a bit tighter if I have anything to say about it myself. And she cracks her neck and sort of just whips down and starts moving towards your own ship, where gravity sort of readjusts itself. It's a nauseating spin to make its way down and start to pursue. Waldorff, did you make a crafting check for me?
I will.
All right. This will determine how well your machinery works. As sort of,
Come on, babe. I will hero point that.
Yep.
One more time.
Do not get a nat one.
Ah.
Man, it wasn't a nat one.
All right. Well, the Shumerex is a difficult thing to align. It was a magma dragon, so
I kick
it
him.
burned through one half of the ship. It sort of started to piece away. This thing has incredible velocity as it makes its way down. Sailix, you can see with your eyes a few figures split out of the ship, bodies pulled out. You count 4 people thrown. They scream as their bodies are sort of tossed from the ship. Now, Rune, you are much closer now. How do you react?
So Rune will look at the Captain Mayor. I thank you for your help, and I would definitely like to continue our conversation about getting your ship back to where it belongs. But for now, as he walks over to a gangplank-like area, I've got to save mine. And he just falls. Aligning himself as best he can to the cross path of the Raven's Wing, and if his trajectory is off, he will simply use Dimension Door to right himself.
All right. You're just jumping.
Yeah, he just sort of tips his hat, so to speak, and steps off backwards.
All right. And before you do that, I will ask Sailix the thing, and I will ask Waldorff is on Sailix. What do? Do you approach the people that have bursted through the exploding side of the hull of the ship?
Do I go after them?
Yeah, 4 people thrown from the ship. Vastly different trajectories. We likely nobody survive on their own being ripped from a ship like that. But then, alternatively, this ship, your ship, is plummeting to the ground, so it's sort of a forked path.
Alright, so anything above 10 I'll go. No, he's going to go to the ship.
All right. Before we get to that, the ship is just wobbling, making its way down. But Waldorff, LN comes to you in this moment, the closest thing maybe to panic on this axiom of space. Will we perish? He asks.
Oh, aye. Most definitely. If we hit something right now, we're all done for. I mean, they might be able to put you back together, but no, I'd be done for sure.
That would be not the same. Is this how you picture the end of your existence?
I tried not to think about it, to be perfectly honest. You never know what might happen.
I've heard of your kind in their final hours. They wish for nothing more than to hold those they care for. For generosity, you may hold me.
Well, that's very sweet of you. And Waldorff will take Ellen and cast Divine Vessel and gain that fly speed and take them up off of the deck of the ship.
I will not survive in this plane as an agent of law, but I thank you for the chance.
We'll find a way home. Don't worry.
Disappearing out. Are you flying away as well?
Yeah, I'm holding on to Ellen because now I'm large and I have a 20-foot fly speed. So I'm gonna try and take the both of us up to the other ship or one of the other nearby ships.
Yeah, and you've enlarged to grab Ellen. You see Sailix descend, landing on the deck. And I believe Arun Ravenswood as well.
Oh, wait, maybe
yeah,
not. Wait just a moment. They might need our help.
Rune landing gently looks at Sailix. Do me a favor and grab the wheel if you could, please. Are there any mages left on here?
Oh yes, there are mages galore. They thought they were being abandoned just now as the ship was falling. Yeah, so they're very happy to see you.
So he directs them to their points on the ship at the arcane nexus points throughout the ship. As he walks up to the center one, taking his staff and slamming it into that center point, it stands there straight up as he begins to wave his arms and waggle his fingers, so to speak. He will pull out some pocket sand, throwing it in the air and blowing into it, causing it to poof out across. At the edges of the ship, the maelstrom seems to crack and sort of resist being shaped into anything, as at the very bow where Vashumrix's head once was mounted, it sort of extends out into this neck and bird-like head and beak, rippling along the length of the ship. The wood seems to sort of melt away into this raven-like form, still with a deck and all the accoutrements, but the sails are gone, and the side where the wings are seem to flap out, and feathers just appear and form and pull together from the maelstrom itself. Rune grabs onto his staff, and you can tell he is forcing law into the chaos of the maelstrom to make this magic work, as he pulls. Well, everyone can kind of see across the ship these little pockets into a realm, and they feel a strong breeze or wind. Lightning and ozone can be felt and heard as the plane of air begins to sort of seep in and attach itself to the raven's wing. Again, as that form of the raven's wing begins to actually take shape into that of a gigantic raven. Its wings unfurling on the sides, its tail forming at the end, and by the end of it, he has cast elemental form on the ship, turning it into an air elemental in the shape of a raven.
Well then.
At which point it will fairly deftly, given that it is an elemental connection to air, pull up and right itself.
Waldorff lands with Ellen.
And it
See, I
will
told
do
you
it
something.
for whatever control he has over it. He will pull it up next to the Captain Mayor's ship.
The jaw drops. Absolute amazement. And then we hook through. Take your backs. Just stares at you. But you make that ascent. You pull up. Your mage is immediately working hard to recover from that experience. But she's just stopped tracks. Who in the fucking room are you?
I'm in Ravenswood. Thank you for the idea, by the way.
Yeah, well.
I am a wizard, for what it's worth.
Bye, wizard!
And this is my ship.
Fine by appropriation. All right. I would.
Do you have a port? I can only keep this going so long.
Right. Bastard called Capital City. Well, then, of course, we have Galasemni, city of the celestial and damned. But I don't think anyone would visit such a wretched place. Besides, Bastard Call is much closer. Shall we set course?
Please, quickly.
Right. Okay. We'll be leaving the pool shortly. Follow me.
Of course.
She'll take you out. Into space. Now, as you set off, you see it sort of plane shrinking in the background after a while. Legion, did you make way back to here, or are you with your Valkyries?
Oh, I think that Legion has a few friends among the Valkyries, one of which we met earlier. He's going to try and catch a ride to catch up with the ship and his precious cartographer. May take a couple of Valkyries to do it.
Right. Now, Rune, you've noticed. Galen is speaking with one of the mages, the lead mage. Who? Not Galen. Gilroy, as it were. Because you get a good 26 names, and then they start getting mixed up after that, because there's not enough letters. But nevertheless, not the one that's dead. I mean, missing. I mean, it doesn't matter. The second in command for Sailix is speaking to one of the wizards, pointing up at the sky, yelling, cursing. Just take control. You can hear him say.
Everyone will see what he's pointing at first.
It's just sort of dead space. But Gilroy will move to Sailix. And immediately, not even subtle, we need to clear up. They could still be alive. Yeah, Sailix, you're on the ship. On the deck where they're trying to navigate this. Gilroy will turn to Rune. We lost some men. They're up there.
I can only keep this up so long.
Well, what do we do?
Rune not letting go of his staff, as it's very clear he's maintaining the effect on the ship through it. Sailix, come here.
So walk over to Rune. His eyes are just kind of like in the area that the bodies had cascaded off into.
All right. Over the span of about 12 seconds or so, there are two spells that are coming at Sailix. The first one of which, the staff sort of pulses, and there's a bit of a shift in the Raven's Wing as it sort of loses some ground, so to speak. And at the edges, anyone watching can see some of the feathers along the wings sort of just disappear as there's a pulse or a wave that passes through Rune, granting Sailix elemental form to give him 100 feet of flight. And then that is followed up with Rune will draw some shapes onto Sailix's chest, and a buzzing can be felt in his nerves as he gets haste.
As soon as he's done, Felix doesn't wait. He just takes off.
That should give you like 400 feet of flight.
Excellent. All right. Sailix makes the ascent up. But I want to close on the maelstrom with the captain peering over, watching this, and then staring sort of at Sailix's wings and ushering the wizard to move over to speak with
The
her
wizard
again.
can't move. Oh. Wait, who?
So
who's
she would be on her
Sorry.
own ship. This would be our genie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he'll move the ship closer.
And she just sort of, it looks like she almost ushered you over so she could get a better look at you.
Rune is very concentrated, Rune. Super focused.
And she just ushers someone else who looks like they would know anything about what's going on. The dwarf. Over to her ship. That great, big, beautiful, vibrant ship of hers. They're just Waldorff over.
Who? Me? Oh, he's excited.
Do you move to her ship?
Oh, aye.
All right. And as you land, what is your name?
He'll like bow very formally. Waldorff Skysteel, man.
Your friend in the sky. Is he a celestial?
I believe so. I don't rightly know. Rune's known him much longer than I have. He'd be the one to ask. I just sort of tag along to get between them when they get into a row.
I asked because I offered the wizard a choice. We could visit Bathmithal, a city of trade, or Galisemni, known as the city of the Celestial and of the Dim. As the name would imply, it's not for my kind. We might have a ticket in.
Well,
I'm going to cut for that. Waldorff on this ship. Sailix moving to save his friends that have been sucked into space, and Rune piloting this thing away from Memphis, ultimately. Now, below the sea, some time inevitably has passed. Vespa, if you would like, you can go spelunking again into this dream plane of yours. Each time
with
it's
a-
always something new. But tonight, you're closer than ever to what or who you've been searching for.
Is it possible to take Kai with me?
Yes, absolutely. You found I in the dream realm and ushered her along on this journey. You're exploring a city through the stratification of many, many dreams coming together. And in a way, it almost sort of makes a rough shape of the city. These dreams, lucky for you, walking through these dreams, the stride itself is quite rare. So you're not pursued. But every time you get a little bit closer to finally isolating that voice in the cacophony, and tonight you hear it as you're strolling through the dream plane with Kai. Not weeping, but pain, great pain. Below the city, you can hear Deidre.
She would grab Kai and just give her that look of like, brace yourself, basically, before they descend into finding the right dream.
Right. You can hear railing and a sort of crumbling, chipping away deep below the city. You can move through the material, through the earth. If you wanted to get deeper underground,
And Kai could hear all this too, right?
yeah, you're strolling along in the city with her.
Is there like, can I make a way, like just imagine a route to where I think it is?
Yeah, that would be a good solution. To picture it, to conjure it in a dream.
Yeah, so she would just basically like imagine, for lack of anything, just like this elaborate spiral staircase that goes down.
Yeah. A little nook, a corner in the middle of an otherwise busy city in this strange dream inception like, as it were. But it just sort of opens up, and now suddenly it's louder. You can hear Deidre. Sounds like he's bound to something. People have been knocking away. You can hear it sound like trumbles coming off of Zarma. Just down the stairs.
Kai wants to rush.
Yeah, V's just like, be on your guard. We saw the shadow creature before. It's possible it is watching. So she would lead Kai, but like try to be quiet. I mean, I don't know how you can be. Well, actually, I'm gonna say that she imagines that her and Kai are in environmental camouflage outfits. So like we, in movies where somebody just like pops out and they're like painted exactly like the background is, like that's basically what she's imagining right now. So whatever the environment is, like they are colored like that now.
practical solutions. And yeah, she would lead Kai closer to Dietrich.
As you make your way down the stairs, you see a dark, open chamber with a magical spotlight shining on him, bound with stone chair. Describe what he looks like.
Oh, before you lays very broken, at least looking, Diedrich. The once grand suit of golem armor that encased him is slowly being stripped away. For the first time, you see his face, his true face. And underneath, you just see a broken human body that is so tightly ingrained with this suit of armor. It's hard to tell where it stops and he begins. Clearly, however, you can see chunks have been ripped off, and the only thing that's clearly visible on his chest is a distinct marking of Gozre. And more specifically, Saltbeard, one of Gozre's scions. But as for the man, Dietrich, can't say he's too stoic given everything that's happening to him, but he is holding up, I guess, more than most.
Is there anyone else inside the room?
Yeah, you can hear a deep, dark voice under magical darkness in the corner, questioning him. Where did they go?
I do not know.
You're running out of time. You're coming out of the darkness. Quite a large aboleth moves over, its massive main eye staring at Diedrich. And in this dream, I'll leave you here. The last thing you'll hear tonight, this aboleth moves impossibly close to Diedrich, equally close to death, in fact. You will help us find this god killer, or it will hurt much, much longer. Your little tentacle moves to start healing Diedrich, pulling him just a thread away from death. This aboleth sees you not, but continues to inflict this torture on Diedrich, who is half asleep and managed to convey this in a dream. But I'm going to leave everyone exactly where they are now, because we will pick this up for the final part of the Torn Seas. Yeah, so we're just going to leave it off right here, guys. Thank you. This has been interesting. So, why don't we go around the room in my final moments before I'm murdered by an unseen hand. Starting with the person who's not my killer. Starting with, Daniel in the parlor with the rope. That's my guess.
Hi guys, I played Sailix Lavender tonight, who is indeed the god killer that keeps getting referenced. Or maybe. I don't know at this point. He could not be. But had a bunch of fun, killing a bunch of Proteans with Legion and doing a bunch of cool shit. And sassing acolytes of Nethys. That's always fun. But if you did like what you saw here tonight, go ahead and check us out on our YouTube channel, because this episode will be downloaded there or uploaded there in 1 week's time. So go check it out.
All right, and then James.
Thanks for watching tonight, folks. I am James. You can find me on Twitter at JamesRGlass. All I ever really do is retweet the stuff that Sam puts out anyway. But as usual, do not forget to check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/pennyforatale. And check out our sister channel, Weave the Tale, as well, over there on Twitch, twitch.tv. I had a blast playing Legion. I guess now we can reveal or confirm he is a construct monk. And then Waldorff, the dwarven cleric, this evening, who has probably got to go change his breeches now. So yeah, can't wait to see what happens next week.
And Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I played the Vesperin / Aaron, and that's okay. I was like, wait, I'm confused.
Me too.
And
Me too.
Yeah, you can find me on the internet at Savage Sparrow. Savage Sparrow Studios is my awesome website where I sell amazing nerdy tees and apparel. Patreon.com/Savage Sparrow is my Patreon, where I post the various Pathfinder arts that I create. So if you want to see my little fan comics and fan arts, that is a cool place to go. $1 a month, not bad. And finally, I want to plug that the RPG we're all working on, Necropunk, got a name change to Necrobiotic. So Kickstarter preview page is up. Give that a follow. You will be notified when it goes live, which is super great and amazing. So definitely check that out. The setting is amazing, and Mitchell was streaming it earlier. So, you can start seeing it in action.
Sam.
Sorry. I was just so excited for my turn. I had to click. I am Sam. I played Kai tonight. All the technical issues were my fault, so sorry about that. Very much so. It's good. Just for our schedule coming up, it has finally been updated on our Twitch page, so go ahead and give that a look if you're ever confused. But on Tuesday, we will be showing our D&D campaign, Hearts of Shadow, and then Thursday will be our following D&D 5e campaign, Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, and then it will be back here on Sunday for the next and final episode of Age of Ashes. So super excited. Our sister channel is also getting into their finale week, so make sure you go over there and see what's going on their schedule. Everything is updated on their Twitch and Twitter page as well. And side note, the Kickstarter is launching May 12th for Necrobiotic, so it is coming up soon.
And Mr. Smith.
Hello, I am Mr. Smith. Really hope you enjoyed this game this evening. If you did, don't forget to give us a little follow, maybe even the little bell so you can get reminded, and potentially subscribe if you're so inclined. None of us will complain, that's for sure. I played Rune Ravenswood with a little cameo as Dietrich. I am eager to see what other shenanigans we can get up to. I think I was this close to getting to visit Nethys's realm and decided to save my ship and crew instead. Thanks for pissing off the Scions, Sailix.
Oh,
yeah.
I like it. I like how you might be able to see in a little hint at what we encountered.
You can. So that's me, like right up there, I think. So you can follow me on Twitter, Mr._Smith. You can also check me out at IamMrSmith.com, and because I am a Path of Exile geek, I will be streaming pretty much the entire week, starting the 16th. Streaming Path of Exile. So feel free to come to my channel and check it out if you're so inclined. That's your call.
Right. And I've been GM Ian. I hope you had a fantastic time watching the absolute chaos. But that is our show. We will be back. Whatever time our schedule says we stream for you localized, we will be here to deliver the final part of this series. Until then, thank you for watching, and good night.
Oh my god, I did it again.